Well, I hope you like Velma, because the Flintstones are about to get the Velma treatment. This is a yabba dabba don't.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
It was just announced a few moments ago that Fox is moving forward with the Flintstones spin-off titled Bedrock. Elizabeth Banks, who we all know from Charlie's Angels and Cocaine Bear, has been shepherding the project as an executive producer and will lead the voice cast of the series, starring as Pebbles, the adult daughter of Fred and Wilma. The project has scored a pilot presentation 2 years after it emerged that it was first in the works at Fox. The cast also includes Stephen Root as Fred, Amy Sedaris as Wilma, Nicole Byer as Betty, Joe Latrulio as Barney, and Manny Jacinto as Bam Bam. Primetime animated adult comedy series continuing the story of the Stone Age family Bedrock catches up with the Flintstone family 2 decades later, with Fred on the brink of retirement and his 20-something Pebbles embarking on her own career. Oh, great. As the Stone Age gives way to a shiny new enlightened new Bronze Age, the residents of Bedrock will find the evolution harder than a swing from Bam Bam's club. There you go, folks. There you go. We're going to go back to the Stone Age to tell you a story about progress in the Bronze Age. So they tell you right in the lead up what this is supposed to be. Are you surprised? I'm not. Velma's a show about an unfunny, unsmart, brilliant genius. So now we're going to watch a show about progress set in the Bronze Age because the Stone Age is too archaic. Bedrock makes the latest animated project for Fox, which recently renewed Crapopolis for a 3rd season before it had even premiered. The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Bob's Burgers were also recently renewed, and the network has housebroken in the John Hamm-voiced Grimsburg. Yay, more Simpsons! Exactly what I want. Listen to the excitement in my voice. But no, seriously, Bedrock. This is just Velma again. We're dusting off an even older property. Let's go back to 1969 for Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? How old is the Flintstones? I believe it's a little earlier in the 60s. You know what? Google. What year did the Flintstones debut? 1960. So we're going back 9 years. September 30th, 1960 is when the Flintstones debuted. And now in 2023, we're going to bring them back with a modern day retelling. I'm going to say the thing everyone else says. Is anyone asking for more Flintstones? Especially a Flintstones that's more adult and progressive and thoughtful about a career-driven Pebbles? We're really going to watch a show about a career-driven Pebbles Flintstone who grew up in the Stone Age. Really, this is the delivery method for this type of story? I thought Elizabeth Banks and company had learned something with Cocaine Bear. I really loved Cocaine Bear. But this is the same old Charlie's Angels type of bullshit that Brownstone Productions wants to produce. Hollywood wants to produce this type of crap. We're going to take an old IP, we're going to church it up, and we're going to make it modern and progressive. I don't care what your political views are. This is stupid across the board. More Flintstones? A modern day allegory for the world we live in from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age? Guys, it's as dumb as it sounds. I can't wait for it to change the characters up, to do all these terrible things. Like, nobody learns anything. I don't know if there's been images released of the show yet. There's been pictures of the voice cast, but what it does is it shows them with the classic, iconic versions of the Flintstones family. You know it's going to be ugly, you know they're going to change up the animation style, but who is this actually for? Because if it's an adult-themed show set in the Flintstones universe, which is from 1960, kids don't know these characters. You might think that all kids grew up with the Flintstones, but you're probably wrong. We're just coming off of a whole battle online about people fighting over April O'Neil being black or white because of her haircut. These kids on the internet didn't realize that white people got perms too. Hell, they got them in the 70s as well. See Bob Pinciotti for note. The Flintstones is before my time. Hell, the Flintstones is almost 30 years older than me, and I still grew up with it in reruns and reruns of reruns. So it was around, it was part of popular culture. They did the movie in the early 90s, but the Flintstones have slowly faded away into obscurity. And that's a good thing because the Flintstones is a great cartoon. It's a relic of the past. There's a reason why the Flintstones advertise for cigarettes. It comes from a different time. And the Flintstones is essentially the Honeymooners. And the Honeymooners is an even older show. So to try to modernize a show where the guy goes, "One of these days, Alice, bang, zoom, right to the moon," that means he's going to hit her. You think they're going to put that in today's world, today's entertainment? No, I don't remember Fred Flintstone ever beating Wilma over the head with a club, but I'm sure they'll find it offensive that Fred went out. They're going to make a complaint that he went out to the Order of the Water Buffalo or went bowling or drank his cactus cooler. It was toxic masculinity. He was a construction caveman, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Honestly, Hollywood, if you're going to put this crap out there, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Stop. Velma's not working. Velma's a flop. Nobody watches that fucking show unless people even like it. You think Mindy Kaling's walking around with her head up her ass anymore? Probably. This is Hollywood, but it's probably deflated just a little bit. Kind of like the Grinch's heart was 3 sizes too small. Mindy Kaling's been taken down 1 peg, so her head is just slightly elevated. Now, Elizabeth Banks and crew, they're coming off Cocaine Bear. They think they avoided the problem, but we know what Brownstone Productions likes to produce with Charlie's Angels and Pitch Perfect. And so that's great if you want to produce that kind of entertainment that's going to appeal to that demographic. But remember, the Flintstones is an old property that people have an attachment to, just like they loved Scooby-Doo. All the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, well, most of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons are well-loved. Elizabeth Banks, if you want to fuck up something, go remake Jabberjaw. Nobody gives a fuck about Jabberjaw. He's like the rip-off Scooby-Doo crew. I mean, when I was a kid, I would watch episodes of Jabberjaw and go, what's the difference between this and Scooby-Doo? I bet you they just took old Scooby-Doo scripts and put Jabberjaw in them instead. Like I always say, this is pointless and stupid. And like I always say, I'm tired of it. So folks, I want to know what you think about this. 3 questions below. Do you like the idea of a Flintstones reboot? 2, do you think this will be as bad as Velma? And 3, who's your favorite Flintstones character? I love Fred, Barney. Really, the Flintstones kind of exist as a cast to me. Outside of the Great Gazoo, I'm on board with the characters. I grew up watching the show, the movies, played the video game on the Game Boy. I like the Flintstones quite a bit. So to me, this is another classic one just getting run through the ringer. Hollywood, make something new. We sit through your bullshit. We've been through Big Mouth. We've been through all these other animated shows. Fuck. You know what's a great animated show? F for Family. Was that based on an old property? No, it wasn't, but it was rated G for good. There are other great animated shows out there. And really, the great ones will stand the test of time. The King of the Hills, early Simpsons, South Park. Those great shows will stand up. The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, in their classic iterations, but to try to modernize and to make them more progressive makes no sense because the audience doesn't want that. These are childhood properties. These are childhood memories. We don't need our childhood memories inflicted and infected by modern day problems. There's that meme online, modern problems for modern solutions. Well, it is not a solution to take the Flintstones or Scooby-Doo or Spider-Man or any of these characters and try to mold them into something that they're not. This is a show that's going to try to be funny just like Velma at the expense of the Flintstones. And yeah, the cast is pretty solid, but that means very little to me. It's all about the end product. And Bedrock, much like other shows, seem irrelevant. And that's all I got to say about that. So folks, thank you for watching. On the way out, make sure you hit that thumbs up button like you do at the beginning of every video. And if you really like our content, join us over on Patreon or hit that join button here on the channel. Speaking of cartoons, I got an interview with a great cartoon. The creators of X-Men the Animated Series joined me the other day for a sit-down. Next week, we will have that on the membership program. It's over an hour long, so be on the lookout for that. And if you like that sort of thing, that's what we're going to be bringing to the membership program all the time. So click that join button and click that thumbs up button, and then go out and enjoy your day, because I'm going to ask you to do one last thing. Besides being smart, besides being cool, that is, always be excellent to each other. And that even means the people that make Bedrock. Be better than them. Thanks for watching today's video. Yes, it's over, but don't cry because there's more, a lot more from World Class Bullshitters. And there's only one way to get it. Hit that subscribe button below. When you do that, you'll get notifications and updates from World Class Bullshitters every time we go live. Basically, you won't miss anything. And if there's one thing I hate, it's FOMO. But the thing most people hate more than FOMO is fear of missing out on World Class Bullshitters, because there's just some things you can't undo. So folks, do yourselves a favor and never miss anything from World Class Bullshitters. One last thing before you go, hit the thumbs up button. Not for our egos, no, they're big enough as this, but it does help us fight the algorithm here, and well, it's man versus machine, and that's the real fight. But if that's not your battle, that's okay. There's one last way you can help WCBS, and that's going over to shopwcbs.com, picking up a t-shirt, a beer glass, a sweatshirt, a poster, all sorts of ways to back WCBS. The difference between us and other YouTube channels is I'm the artist that makes all this stuff, so if you enjoy art beyond t-shirts, you can even read our comic books. We got it all. We're called the epitome of pop culture for a reason, and no, again, it's not for our egos. So folks, make sure you're involved with every aspect of World Class Bullshitters, not just for us, but do it for yourself. We're making the change in entertainment everybody out there wants to see. And a special thank you goes out to all of our wonderful patrons who make this content possible. Go to patreon.com/worldclassbs to get involved and help out the channel.